Hello, and welcome to the first part of the fourth module of our course, where we'll start looking at animating inside After Effects with layers, text, shape, paths, and masks. After Effects Animation Basics. Before we jump into animating, there are a few concepts we should touch on that will improve the overall quality of our animations. The first one is pacing, which is the flow and the idea of having an animation that moves at a constant speed throughout the entire project, leaving enough time for the viewer to grasp and understand the information presented on the screen. Pacing is commonly established in the first scene that we animate. It covers the time that it takes for elements to go in and out of screen during the duration of the scene, as well as the amount of time we take to move from one scene to another. Pacing comes full circle as one of the first things we learned in this course was dividing our script for our storyboard into paragraphs with a consistent length. We also need to consider the transition time we will set to move from one scene to another. As a reference, what we recommend doing in your projects is to take a full second to transition from one scene to the next and keep that consistent for all your scenes. This depends on the flow of the voiceover, as we might decide to take 1 second out of a 6-second scene duration to make the transition mid-sentence at the 5th second. Or if there's a pause in the voiceover, we might wait and make the transition after the 6th second. The same goes for all elements that animate in and out of our scene. If we have 4 circles animating in and out from a scene, we should try to have all of them animate at a similar speed. To better understand this, let's look at the following 2 examples. Example 1 has the elements going in and out at different speeds. This makes the scene look chaotic, and it is hard to follow. Example 2 has the elements animating at similar speeds, making the scene easier to follow without having one element grab our attention more than another. As a best practice, we should try to keep the pacing in our animation consistent throughout all scenes, based on the pacing we established in our first scene. Following this rule will be important when working as a team to make sure animations of a single project or series look consistent. If we're able to keep constant pacing in our animation projects, viewers will have a better time watching them and will also be engaged for longer. Timing or rhythm. The second concept is timing or rhythm, which goes hand in hand with pacing, but focuses more on how elements are animated and interact with each other, with the voiceover, and the scene to help convey or reinforce our script data or information. Now, to better understand this, let's say we have a voiceover that is listing different concepts in a scene. If we have the assets for each concept, either text or icons, come up at the same time before or after the voiceover goes over them, our timing would be off and the animation would feel disconnected. Instead, if we have each concept shown on screen, as the VO calls them, the animation would help reinforce the information through timing. Timing is not just for working with the voiceover. Timing also helps to keep people engaged with our animation by showing assets at the correct time and in a logical order. To make this easier to understand, let's look at the following examples. Example 1. We have all assets and background animate in at the same time in a second, leaving us with 6 seconds with no movement on screen. Example 2 has the same assets shown one after the other, and then moving over to make room for the final asset to come into frame. Think of it as having a single drum beat at the start and then going silent versus having a rhythm of drums going off throughout the duration. An easy way to help with timing and rhythm is to animate in full seconds. What I mean by that is placing the keyframes so that their main position, scale, or rotation starts and stops at each full second marker, like the example on screen. You can add overshoot keyframes before if you want to make it look more organic, but have the main keyframes at the full second markings. Most of the time, animating this way helps us keep in rhythm with music, without having to animate to the exact beat of the song. This works even better if we also time the transition of our scenes to full second markings. Now, if we think about it, this makes sense as most of the music we work with tends to follow a beat per second structure.